Welcome to this explainer. If you've been following the year-to-date headline news trends, you know we're looking at a massive geopolitical shift coming out of Washington. We're talking about Trump-era precedents, USMCA tariffs, and the precarious flow of municipal solid waste, or MSW, shipped across the border from Ontario, Canada, directly to U.S. Michigan landfills. Today, we're diving deep into this exact North American waste trade crisis, and, more importantly, the cutting-edge AI technology that's being deployed right now to solve it. It's a perfect example of how high-level international trade wars eventually force microscopic, on-the-ground technological innovations. Okay, let's quickly run through our agenda today. 1. The Ontario-Michigan Waste Corridor. 2. USMCA tariffs and trade friction. 3. 905 Wood, the sentient bridge. 4. Edge AI and pixel hardware. 5. Digital refinery application workflow. And finally, 6. The global circular bioeconomy.
Section 1. The Ontario-Michigan Waste Corridor, a system under strain. For decades now, the transboundary waste pipeline connecting Canada and the U.S. has operated like a highly integrated, totally predictable utility routes. But let's just pause and look at the sheer physical scale of this dependency. Every single year, a staggering 3.46 million tons of MSW disposal, that's everyday household and commercial trash, are shipped across the border from Ontario straight into Michigan landfills. It is an absolute tidal wave of daily logistics.
And this dependency totally goes both ways. Think about this. Canadian trash literally makes up 14.35% of all waste disposed of in Michigan landfills. The Detroit-Windsor trade corridor is just deeply, deeply embedded into both of these local economies. It's a massive intertwined system.
But here is the massive red flag. Ontario is facing an absolute capacity cliff within a decade if this cross-border shipping is disrupted. Currently, without any disruptions, their domestic capacity lasts until around 2037. But if the U.S. border closes, or even if aggressive new tariffs make exporting financially impossible, Ontario's domestic landfill capacity will be completely exhausted by 2034. That's not some distant, abstract future. That is an immediate operational reality for the province. Section 2, USMCA tariffs and trade friction, the geopolitical threat.
Because make no mistake, the era of open borders, it's basically over, thanks to unprecedented legislative threats popping up everywhere. In 2024, Michigan's Governor Whitmer proposed a $5 per ton fee. In response to those capacity fears, Ontario Premier Doug Ford bypassed environmental assessments to fast-track domestic landfills. And then, brace yourselves for 2026. With shifting administrations in Washington, including aggressive Trump-era tariff precedents, Section 122 tariffs could drop. And that leads directly into the massive CUSMA 2026 sunset, where the U.S. declined to extend the trade agreement, triggering incredibly volatile annual reviews.
So, as impartial reporters looking at this data, we can clearly see the squeeze happening from all sides. Whether it's environmental surcharges from Democrats in Michigan, deregulation from conservatives in Ontario, or heavy protectionist tariffs coming out of Washington, the bottom line is exactly the same. The old baseline for moving waste simply no longer exists. What used to be a completely predictable utility route is transforming overnight into a highly volatile, highly contested trade corridor.
Section 3, 905 Wood, the sentient bridge.
Now, this exact geopolitical volatility is forcing a massive technological leap, which is where things get really fascinating. Enter the 905 Wood digital refinery workflow. They are acting as what they call a sentient bridge between chaotic construction waste and the high-purity requirements of the biocarbon market. They deploy advanced software to convert messy, unorganized wood waste into verified, ultra-pure feedstock that can be burned for bioenergy, entirely sidestepping traditional landfills and that brutal international border friction we just talked about. And to survive aggressive USMCA trade audits and strict local regulations, their system operates on one incredibly clear core thesis. Chaos goes in, verified purity comes out. Audit-proof at every single step. It's practically the ultimate defense mechanism against customs agents who are hunting for prohibited materials or any sort of transshipment violations. Section 4. Edge AI and pixel hardware, microscopic precision. To actually pull this off at scale, you have to merge heavy industrial grit with literal Silicon Valley intelligence. This system puts the brain of the refinery directly into the calloused hands of field operators, right out in the mud and chaos of a live job site. They're operationalizing the Google Pixel 10 Pro with Android 16. It leverages the Tensor G5 chip with a 3-nanometer edge TPU, and it uses a hardware root of trust. That means the data is completely bulletproof, right at the front gate. So, running locally right on that device is the LiteRT AI stack features. In less than half a second, under 500 milliseconds, the AI's 2.3 billion parameter model uses cameras and LiDAR to visually classify the wood. It instantly spots treated wood trying to hide in a pile. And if the AI is even slightly unsure, it kicks the decision up to a larger 4.5 billion parameter model. It acts as a visual fallacy guard, enforcing this strict precautionary principle to ensure absolutely zero contaminated wood breaches the supply chain. Because, let's face it, legacy paper-based reporting, it's basically a sitting duck for a U.S. customs audit. Instead, this system uses what they call explainable compliance. By using a highly secure cloud database structure powered by Vertex AI and AlloyDB RAG, the system automatically links the actual, physical pile of wood in the truck directly to exact Ontario regulatory codes. It's tamper-proof, it's incredibly fast, and it is instantly ready for any auditor who comes knocking.
Section 5. Digital Refinery Application Workflow, a day in the life.
Let's look at what this digital refinery application workflow actually feels like for the folks on the ground. In the hands of field workers navigating a chaotic job site, the out follows 4 seamless steps. First, it starts with a request for quote that instantly calculates weights and fees. Second, the operator literally just points the phone to let the AI visually scan the load using LiDAR and cameras. Third is verification. It locks in the GPS and timestamp in a hold-to-seal moment. And fourth, it generates all the necessary compliance documents right on the spot.
And the Digital Refinery Application Workflow UI/UX is built strictly for harsh industrial reality. We're talking high-contrast safety colors, black, white, and safety orange, and huge, glove-friendly buttons. It enforces a strict 2-second rule for processing, so workers aren't just standing around waiting for the AI to think. It even shows the operator exactly how much financial liability they just successfully avoided, displayed right there on the screen.
The resulting output PDF documentation features aren't just giving you a receipt. This is a legally defensible shield. The system generates a 9-point USMCA certificate of origin, stamped with a QR code, precise GPS coordinates, and a cryptographic kernel hash. That hash is basically a digital wax seal, proving the document was never tampered with. It's explicitly designed to stop border officers from slapping them with those massive 40% transshipment penalties.
Section 6, the global circular bioeconomy, connecting tech to money.
So what does this all mean? Well, all this strict compliance actually creates entirely new avenues of profit. By guaranteeing absolute purity right at the point of origin, they secure a deeply discounted $5 per ton recycling rate, completely dodging the $60 mixed waste penalty. And it gets better. Through decoupled billing, the customer actually sees those savings, while 905 Wood mints carbon removal credits, or CORCs. By capturing 0.75 tons of CO2 equivalent per dry ton, they are quite literally transforming what used to be a costly border liability into a highly liquid financial asset. And this really sums it up perfectly. By operationalizing the Google Pixel 10 Pro and LiteRT AI stack, 905 Wood secures Ontario's industrial leadership in the global circular bioeconomy. It proves that when protectionist tariffs and chaotic politics threaten to shut down our traditional waste pipelines, deep, edge-based technological verification can actually build a brand new, uncontested path forward. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. As geopolitical trade friction completely redefines global supply chains, and as tariffs continue to disrupt traditional logistics across North America, how will other industries deploy edge AI to turn geopolitical chaos into verified, audit-proof assets? The waste sector is clearly leading the charge here, but they absolutely won't be the last. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and keep questioning what's possible when massive macro problems meet microscopic intelligent solutions.